Well, hello there, everyone. Today is Tuesday. Excuse me. Today is Tuesday, July the 12th, year 2022. We're almost halfway through July. Where does time go? I got the answer to that. It goes in the past. Anyway, I am Mazske Finance. Welcome to my channel. Thank you, any new subscribers. And I apologize. I've had a couple of new subscribers and I've lost a couple. So I apologize if I offend anyone or people don't find my channel entertaining enough. I am told it's educational. But anyway, with that being said, when do you take a profit? That's the question. When do you take a profit on an investment? Okay, I am going to answer that from Mazke's perspective. Because Mazske is not a financial advisor. He is definitely not a CPA. He's not an attorney. He doesn't play one on TV, nothing like that. But here's what I'm thinking. You have heard me say in a variety of videos, the best way to get started in real estate, one of the best ways, if you don't have a lot of money, is to house hack. It's perhaps to buy a duplex, a triplex, a quadplex, live in one unit, get a first-time home buyer's mortgage, whatever it's called, put 3.5%, 5% down, and let your tenants pay all or most of your mortgage, taxes, insurance, and expenses for you. If you don't have a lot of money, you have now eliminated more or less eliminated your housing cost. And because we all got to pay to live somewhere, right? We got to rent or we got to buy something, we got to pay to rent. So if you can eliminate that cost, that's the biggest expense that most people have. Okay? So with that being said, I think I have also said somewhere along the way, with investing, you got to take the emotion out of it. Okay? Do what you can. We're all human beings. We all have emotion. We get happy. We get sad, we get euphoric, we get depressed, and so on, right? Right? We get exhilarated, we get scared, we get excited. We go skydiving, I've done it. We go motorcycle riding, I've done it. We go on hot air balloons, I've done it. We go whitewater rafting, I've done it. We kayak, I've done it. We sit and read books. We read books and we read more books. I've done it. Okay, now I talk to a phone. All right. So that being said, when do you take a profit? Here's my situation. I'll talk it out with you guys. I am looking for feedback. Put it in the comments below. Tell me I'm lame brain. Tell me I'm scatterbrained. Tell me I do am making the biggest mistake of my life. Or say whatever you want to say. Just don't spam me. Okay? So with that being said, as you may know if you've been following my channel, I have moved to South Florida. I moved not quite a year and a half ago, a year and 4 months ago, roughly. And when I moved out of Virginia, I had a paid off house in Virginia, completely paid off. I had paid it off in the year 2015, January 2015. So, but as I was moving, my house in Virginia was getting rehabbed, renovated, completely, it was given a facelift, 100% from basement to attic, basically, and outside, and then my two outbuildings, an acre and a third, 1955 brick rancher. It's a nice house now, okay? So anyway, it took a while to get that done. It was during the supply chain thingamajigger, the pandemic. I was down here in Florida, the missus was in Virginia, and it took a while. And it took till September. I moved down here in March, took till September. And by September, the house was done, the house was sold, and the missus moved down here. It still wasn't done yet. It lingered on until October, November, until we finally got it wrapped up, but it was basically sold in September. Okay, so now we've been living here in Florida. I closed on this house in March of 2021. Okay, my first cup of green tea today, decaffeinated. So then, one thing, remember, I'm not a CPA at all. Okay, but when you are a homeowner, if your home goes up in value and you sell it, if you've lived in that home for at least 2 years out of the past 5 years, you can exclude a certain dollar amount and not pay capital gains taxes on it. If you're a married couple, unless they've changed this since I last looked at it, it's $500,000. So if you make up to $500,000, you do not pay tax on it, okay? You with me so far? All right? My house here in Florida, it allegedly has gone up in value since I bought it. I bought it for about $555,000, okay? I'm being told now, the other day, I think I put it in a video, I looked at a house, new construction, that they're asking $1.1 million for it. my real estate agent went in there with me, and he's the one that sold me this house. And we both 100% agree my house is better than that house. It's bigger by 250 plus square feet, so space, bigger. I have stamped concrete on my driveway. They got pavers with brand new construction with weeds growing up in their driveway. I have solid concrete on my pool deck. They have these little square pavers with weeds growing up on their pool deck when it's brand new construction. All right, $1.1 million. I don't want to buy something for $1.1 million and there's weeds growing up on my pool deck from day one. That's not good. I also have a boat lift. I also have a dock, kind of like two docks, and a tiki hut. They have none of that. Okay, the house is smaller. My house from the outside looks better than that house. That house is plainer. My house kind of in quotes has the wow factor just a bit. Okay, so my realtor said that if he were to list my house today, if that house does sell for $1.1 million, he would probably list it at $1.2 million, my house. And he said if it didn't get the interest, it didn't get showings or no offers made in a period of time, whatever that period of time is, he would recommend knocking 4 to 5% off of that. So that might be $1.2 million. It'd be slightly above $1.1 million, but let's just say it's $1.1 million for easy math. Okay? Say that were to happen. All right, say I did it today and I could sell for that much. I don't know. You never know when you sell a house. The market's changing. The market's slowing down. But here in Florida, the market is still growing, but it's definitely slowing down. It's slowed down, okay? So who knows what the house would sell for today? But now my dilemma is, if I sell today and I did make a profit, I'd have to pay tax. That capital gains tax, I'd probably have to pay 20%. If I made $500,000, 20% would be what, 40 grand? Or is that right? Or something, don't mental math, something like that. I don't want to pay that much in tax. 10%, 50. No, 80 grand, I think. Yeah, that's even worse. All right. I don't want to pay that much in tax out of my profit. So I plan to stay here. So by the time I have 2 years here, the market will have changed. In what way, I do not know. It may get even slower. The country may be in a recession. It may have gone up in value. Instead of 1.1 or 1.2, maybe it's 1.4. I don't know. It might have dropped in value. It might be 800,000, not 1.2, not 1.1, not 1, 800,000. I don't know. I will reevaluate when that time comes. Okay? So with that being said, if this was springtime of 2023 and I was ready to sell and I did sell, here's how it could play out. All right, I ran 3 sets of numbers. Easy to run numbers. I ran selling it at straight up 1 million, 1.1, and 1.2. All right, to make easy math, we'll round down just a bit. Because if I sell, I got to pay a realtor's fee at 6%, 3% for buyer's agent, 3% for seller's agent. Seller has to pay a little bit in closing cost. But between now and springtime, I pay roughly $1,000 down on the mortgage. Like my mortgage is over $3,000, and about $1,000 is towards principal. So that's what, 8 months away, $8,000 less that I would owe on the mortgage to pay the house off. So anyway, if I sold the house, the numbers, if I sold it for $1 million, roughly my profit is $425,000. 1.1 million, my profit is $519,000. 1.2 million, my profit is $613,000. Okay? An easy way to remember this is 1 million, 1.1, 1.2 profit at each level. 1 million is 400,000, 1.1 is 500,000, 1.2 is 600,000. Okay? So when do you take a profit? If you have an investment property, I won't back up just a bit. If you have an investment property, do you ever sell it to take a profit? Some investors say you hold it forever. I say you evaluate every situation, every house differently. Some houses, for different reasons, may need to be sold. Not always. It's up to you. You're the owner. It's up to you. Okay? I have sold 3 properties so far, rental properties. The first one I sold was my second rental property. And when I sold it, I had put 20% down. I had done some improvements without spending a whole bunch of money, but some money. And I bought it for like $97,000. I sold it for $137,000. So I got back my down payment and I got back my profit. And it was, I forget exactly what it was, $50,000, $60,000 I got. But whatever I got, I turned it into 4 more houses. I was positively cash flowing, I think about $300 in that house. I turned it into about $1,000, 250 times 4, $250 per house times 4. It was probably a little bit better than $1,000, but what would you say $1,000? So that made sense. 300, 1,000. 4 houses that can appreciate, 1 house that can appreciate. That made sense. The house was not a great rental. It was a beautiful house. 3-2, had been renovated, but the driveway was steep. It sat below street level. I have rebuilt the steps in the front, put a nice set of steps in there. But as a rental liability, someone trips and falls, someone drives their driveway, they slide down. Yes, they agreed to move in there, but I don't want to take that chance. It just wasn't, I didn't feel comfortable with it. So if I don't feel comfortable, be it right or wrong, I sold it, took the profit, and improved my financial situation. I have also sold my triplex. When I sold my triplex, I took pretty much all the profit from that and invested in my oil drilling adventure. Okay, so I did that. I am making more in cash flow from the oil drilling now than I was on that triplex. Okay, I was living in Florida, the triplex in Virginia. I was self-managing. If I had hired a property manager, it would have really reduced my positive cash flow on that building because I'd already cash back refinanced it, so my cash flow was less than it was originally. It was still good, but if I had to hire a property manager when I'm making almost $3,000 a month in rent, that's $300, it would just knock my cash flow back. So I didn't want to do that. So I knew where I could reallocate the money, so I sold. Okay? Now we look at my personal house. I like this house. Okay? I've called it my castle. I've called it my chateau. I have made it comfortable. I have a tiki hut down there. I have a dock down there. I have a swimming pool. I swim 12 months out of the year. I took a little break when it got down to 66 degrees, maybe a week or 2. I can't remember exactly. And I missed a day here and there. But I won't say I swam 365 days in a year, but 350 days, maybe. I swim almost every day. Exercise. I don't call it, it's not really swim per se. It's I'm flailing about, but I'm exercising. My back's tight today. I haven't stretched yet. All right. So anyway, if I were to sell this house, I might make $400,000, $500,000, or $600,000. I could reallocate that money. I could put it into investments. And if I made 12%, I didn't write down this piece of paper, but if I made 12% of my investments, it's roughly $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 a month in profit. $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, roughly $4,000 a month in rents, revenue, $5,000 a month, $6,000 a month, depending on the dollar amount that I get back. Potentially, at a 12% investment. I'm rounding numbers down too for easier math. Okay. So you've heard me mention in other videos, I have a goal of getting to $25,000 a month in positive cash flow. All right. If I can add $4,000, $5,000, or $6,000 to my monthly positive cash flow, well, that's pushing me in the right direction, right? And then, but then here lies the question. You might be thinking this, Mazske, if you sell your house that you live in, where are you going to live at? Good question. That's up in the air right now. I could potentially move to Panama. I could rent a house down there. I could rent a nice house somewhere, either in the mountains or maybe looking at the beach or looking over the water. And maybe I pay $1,500 a month and my utilities are very low compared to here. Food costs are low compared to here. My expenses compared to here, Florida's expensive. My expenses compared to here would be much less. Okay, so I could live cheaper. By selling this house, I also eliminate a $3,100 mortgage and electric bills and water bills and all that kind of stuff. So I eliminate that, which helps cash flow, right? If I have a $3,100 mortgage and now I drop it down to $1,500 a month in rent, well, that's $1,600 extra for my pocket, okay? All right, now if I do that, doesn't mean I'm going to stay there forever, because I have learned, used to be when I bought a house, it's like, oh, I'll stay here till I die. Things change. Your perspective changes. Now it's like, I'm a man of the world. Not that I'm going to move around the world, but maybe I do move around the world. So that if I were to sell and make that profit, that's the unknown, by next spring, the market may change and there's less of a profit. Maybe I forget all about doing this and I stay put. If I can't make the profit, I might just stay put. Okay? But if I can make that profit, when do you get the opportunity to bring in $500,000 by selling something? Think about it. Most of you out there probably don't have $500,000, $500,000. But if you can sell something and bring that in, and you know how to invest where you can reallocate it into something else, there's always a house you can rent somewhere. I live near almost no family. My family I grew up with is over 1,000 miles away. My two sons are 3,000 miles away. Okay, my in-laws are, I don't know, 1,000, 2,000 miles away. Okay, I don't live near family. I have friends all over. I have friends on the West Coast, East Coast, up and down. I have friends in Europe. Other places. I know people all around. Friends in Panama. So I have options. Some people might be hesitant in my shoes, or they might tell me something like, Mazske, you have a good thing where you're living at. You're comfortable. You have a swimming pool. You just put a fence up. You put a tiki hut in. Why do you want to give that up? Because you take the chance of never getting that back. Yes, that's true. But there's always houses out there. Always. Could my plans go awry and I am not successful in my investments tank, and I sell this house, take that profit, and lose it? Is that possible? Sure. There is always risk to investing. Yes, that is possible. When I sold my house in Virginia, it was a risk. I had a paid-off house. I was venturing out into the unknown and getting a mortgage of almost $3,100. That's a risk, right? If I can't pay this mortgage, I could lose this house, right? So if I sold this house, can I ensure that I don't lose this money? There's never a guarantee, but I think I can. I guess if I bought rental property, all my tenants stop paying rent and the bank forecloses upon those houses, I lose it. If I invested in oil drilling or mineral rights, the owners of the company put it in their pocket and walk away, and they go live in Panama or some other place where the United States government can't get them, and they put all our money in their pocket. Is that possible? Sure. If you invest in stocks, could the CEO walk away with all the money? Sure. But does it happen? Yes. Does it happen often? No. Is it possible? Yes. But is it a greater chance that will happen, or is there a better chance I will at least be semi-successful with my investments? I think there's a greater chance I'll be at least semi-successful. Okay? The investing world is changing. It might not be as good in the future as it has been in the past, but I've been investing for 35 years. There's always an opportunity to invest. You just got to look for it. Okay? Sometimes things change. The stock market today has changed, right? Sometimes things change. You might have to reallocate. Okay? I know how to invest in stocks. I know how to invest in real estate. I know how to invest in oil drilling. I know how to invest in mineral rights. I even know how to invest in crypto. Okay? And in the future, there's going to be more ways to invest. There's art. There's wine. There's commodities. There's other ways to invest. Okay? So anyway, here lies the question. What would you do? What advice would you give Mazske? Put it in the comments below. Give me some advice. I give you guys advice. Give me your opinion, your thoughts. Tell me I'm an idiot. Or tell me to do it. I don't care. I like reading comments. Comment away. Do I sell my personal residence in 8 months and potentially move to a foreign country? Or potentially move to Mississippi or Alabama? A cheap place in the United States where I could rent probably cheaper, because I don't have any ties with anywhere. I mean, I do, but I don't. Okay, I can pack up, kind of, sort of, and go almost anywhere. Now, I got to be careful. I don't want to go to a rough area and I get myself shot, because in the United States, you can get yourself shot. That's another reason I want to go to Panama, perhaps. They don't have gun violence in Panama. They don't have silliness in Panama. Yes, they have a government that's democratic, and yes, it kind of rules with an iron fist at times. But it's not like the United States. We're off the chart crazy in this country, it just seems. Look at the riots and the demonstrations. Talk to a police officer. My brother-in-law is a cop in Baltimore City. Millennial Mike's a friend of mine. He's a state trooper at Washington State. My buddy Will is a cop in Virginia. I was a police officer for 20 years. You talk to a lot of police officers and they'll all tell you, society's a lunatic. All right? I have a brother-in-law in Panama. He's a police officer. I've talked to him a little bit about it. Yes, they got some crazy people there. They have domestics and they got some fights. And occasionally some tourist might get kidnapped somewhere in the country. There's risk, there's danger everywhere. Okay? But by and large, Panama is a safer country than the U.S., I dare say. Okay? So there's options for me. There's options for you. All we got to do is look in the mirror. I don't have a mirror in this room. All we got to do is, I got a camera that shows myself. All we got to do is look in the mirror. We are what holds us back to being successful. We. Not our family, not our school, not our employer. It's us. We as individuals control our destiny. All right? Don't lean on others as a crutch. Don't blame others for your misfortunes. Take personal responsibility for yourself. And if you get knocked down, pick yourself back up. If you struggle, persevere. Grit. Stay determined. Stay focused. Keep moving forward. So we come back to the question. When's the right time to take a profit? I've answered my question. If prices hold by next spring, and there's still 1 million, 1.1, 1.2, if that's a possibility, I think it's time to take a profit. If it's 800,000, maybe not. Maybe I stay put. If it's 1.5 million, do I try to wait and see if it goes higher? I think I pull the plug. I think I take the profit. Because there's never a guarantee you're going to get a profit in the future. Prices might drop. There's not a guarantee. If I could sell today without paying that tax penalty, I think I would do it. What would you do? I've encouraged you to shake up your own life to become an investor. I've encouraged you, if you own a house, sell it and buy a duplex, triplex, quadplex. I've encouraged folks to do that. Doesn't mean you'll do it. But if I give you that advice, shouldn't I do the same thing, kind of? Let me shake up my own life in pursuit of growing my investments. $25K a month or bust. No bust. All right, no bust. We're going to keep plugging away the best we can. All right, this got long. I'm not making a video every day now, so some of my videos may get a little bit longer. It's up to you if you want to watch them all. All right, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you feel free to click the thumbs up. Feel free to comment if you so desire. Mazske is signing out.